Lord, I don't seek to claim the glory. I only wish to be under your control. For I know that you alone are worthy. You place this longing in.
Hi everyone, it's Dr. Cleopatra Gordon Pusey again with Life is Beautiful M.D. and Life is Beautiful Ministries. Welcome back to our channel. We trust you had a wonderful week. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in His name, He's in our midst. We are going to continue on with our BIBLE, basic instruction before leaving earth. I know a lot of people say everything comes with a manual. Even when a woman is pregnant, there's a book called What to Expect When You're Expecting. If you go to a job, there's a manual about the dress code, leave of absences, days off, so on and so forth. But us as humans on this earth, the timeless truth, the Bible that was written, it's basic instruction before leaving earth for the BIBLE, and we're going to continue on with that. There's so much that I want to talk about, but there's not enough time to do everything. So today we're going to talk about St. Matthew 25, verse 31 to 46. I'm going to read a little of it for you, and it's when Jesus was speaking, and He was talking about the Son of Man will judge the nations. He says, when the Son of Man comes in glory and all the holy angels with Him, then He will sit on the throne of His glory. All the nations will be gathered before Him. He will separate them from another, as sheep herd divides his sheep from goats. And He will set the sheep on His right hand, but the goats on the left. Then the King will say to those on the right hand, come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me to drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer Him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and gave you to drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you when you were sick or in prison and come to you? And the King will answer to them, saying, assuredly, I say, inasmuch as you've done it to the least of these, my brethren, then you've done it unto me. Again, He said, inasmuch as you've done this to the least of my brethren, you have done it unto me. Then He will also say to those on the left hand, depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not take me in. Naked, you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me. Then they also will answer Him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or naked or sick in prison and did not minister to you? Then He will answer them, saying, assuredly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did not do it to one of the least of these, then you did not do it unto me. And these will go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. This is St. Matthew 25, verses 31 to 46. The most important part of it is verse 40. The King will answer and say unto them, assuredly, I say unto you, inasmuch as you did this to the least of my brethren, then you have done it unto me. In essence, what this Bible verse is saying is, as much as we do unto each other, we do it unto God. I keep talking about every day that we're God's hand extended. God made us, and He's inside each one of us. He's inside of each one of our hearts. And everything we know, we need to share. And when we can do good, we need to do good. We should try to do our best to be our brother's keeper. I tell you that if I'm driving down the street and I see a mother walking with a child, rain starts coming, I make a U-turn, I go back and I try to pick up the mother and the child, and I don't even know them. There are times when people tell me no, I give them my umbrella and I bless them and I move on. I remember another time I was driving to work on Flamingo Road in Pembroke Pines, Florida, and a young lady was walking down the street, and out of nowhere the sky just opened and the rain started pouring down. And I literally turned my car around and went to pick up the lady, and when she was coming in the car, all she kept saying, "I'm wetting up your car, I'm wetting up your car." I said, "Ma'am, it's a material thing. You're a person, get in the car, don't worry about the wet. That can dry, but I need you to be okay." And I asked her where she was going, and I drove her to where she was going, and I took her there. We have to each one bless one, each one love one. So I'm a medical doctor, and I've been a medical doctor for over 15 years, and we have 2 offices here. I'm a professor. I teach medical students. I teach nurse practitioner students. I teach students that are in, foreign medical graduates or even American medical graduates that are trying to get to residency. I have them in my office. They're working with us, working as scribes, teaching them to be residents and helping them to get into residency programs so they could be licensed physician and work and go on. I have this beautiful table set here because I'm saying I could only reach the people that are in my office one person at a time. So I'm literally going to try to reach the world. Coronavirus is going around, and in the Bible it says faith without works is dead, right? Faith without works is dead. When Moses was in the wilderness with the children of Israel after they crossed the Red Sea, when they came upon a place and the water was bitter, Moses asked God what to do, and God told him to put a tree into the water, and the water that was bitter became sweet. If Moses didn't listen to what God said, the water would have remained bitter, the people would have remained thirsty, right? Then, when they went to another part of the wilderness, there was no water. All there was rock and wilderness. And again, the people murmured and complained, "Did you bring us out here to die?" And Moses reached out and asked God what to do again. And again, God told him to strike the rock. And when he struck the rock burst forth and water came out of it. And the people got, water. Their thirst were quenched, right? I'm saying that to say, I've been treating patients with coronavirus from March of last year until now. And thank God we've been extremely successful. There are so many different things we could do. Now we have 3 different vaccines. We have 2 mRNA vaccines. We have 1 DNA vaccine. There's monoclonal antibodies. There's remdesivir. There's convalescent plasma. There's so many things, but people still don't understand what to do. I'm talking about God will help those who help themselves. So we have to do what is right for us. If I told you that I will give you $1 million if you do a certain thing. Just say if I give you, how much is your life worth? You can't put a price tag on your life. You absolutely cannot put a price tag on your life. Your life is worth more than that. So if I told you that if you put this mask on, I will give you $1 million, would you do it? You're worth more than $1 million. I went to the mall today, and the entire summer, July, it's August now, when the people who got their vaccination, they told them they didn't have to wear any mask. So I guess people who were vaccinated or unvaccinated, everybody decided not to wear any mask. I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people were not wearing masks. And now the hospitals are overflown with, they have to take every aspect of the hospital to turn it into a bed to accommodate all this influx of COVID positive patients. And I went to the mall today and I see people wearing the mask, and the mask is like down here. COVID is aerosol, is respiratory droplets. You inhale it. So if you're wearing a mask covering your mouth and your nose is open, you're going to catch something if something is in the air. So I'm here today to talk to you about exercising your faith. If I'm telling you God gave us the basic instruction before leaving earth as the Bible, and I'm telling you that because of what's going on here now, we see what this COVID virus can do. We see now the Delta variant and all the different variants that are coming out. And even though the vaccine is here, even people with the vaccine are still getting the virus because they're still not exercising precautionary measures. I'm saying to you, whether or not you decide to take the vaccine or not, you need to protect yourself. So I'm here to you to plead, to talk to you, to value your life. Value your life as much as I, as a physician, took the Hippocratic Oath, would value it for you. I can't value your life as much as you can value your life, but I'm encouraging you, please understand what I'm saying. You must wear your mask. You must exercise all the precautionary measures that you need to do to prevent you from getting sick and, you know, God forbid, dying, okay? So you're gonna start with your good hand washing. You know, wash your hands as often as you can, as frequent as you can. I walk around with sanitary wipes, and I use them to open doors. And if you open the door with your hand, get your hand sanitizer. Use your hand sanitizer and sanitize your hands, okay? Before you go out, or even when you come back in. Recommendations. There's Listerine. Listerine kills a lot of things. Before the COVID gets inside your lung, it goes in your nose, it stays in the throat a bit. But if you gargle at least 3 times a day, if you can do the strong Listerine by itself, Listerine, or half Listerine, half water, gargle at least 3 times a day. Anytime you're in contact with anyone, you know, gargle, 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 at least 3 times a day. You can also use 3% hydrogen peroxide. This might, you know, make your teeth feel a little funny, but if you put half 3% hydrogen peroxide with water, gargle with this also, and it can help. I don't recommend you do this a lot because it can make your teeth, you know, feel edgy, if I'm lack of a better word. So gargle, 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 okay? Wear your mask. I wear at least 3 masks. I have an invisible spray called Varistan Sanitizer. Virastan. I have that spray that I spray on. It says it kills COVID in 2 minutes. And it says mist. I spray on my nose and my mouth. Then there's different masks that we could wear. Okay, so this is one. So you put this on the proper way. Put behind your ear. So with this is one mask. Then you have just a regular KN95. This one also. Okay. Then you have the N95. Make sure you put it on. Make sure your nose is covered. Your nose is where the droplets go in. So please, I'm asking you, the COVID is in the air. It's when people... So yes, everyone. So we were talking about the different ways we can do, the different modalities we can protect ourselves. Good hand washing. Make sure we're staying 6 feet apart, social distancing as much as we can. Make sure that we are using our hand sanitizers as much as we can. Okay, we have multiple different masks here. I'm gonna show you all. I have a spray called Varistan spray, Virastan. So I spray that on my nose and mouth first. Then you could just use a regular mask and put on. This is a regular mask, or you can use KN95, this one, okay? Or you could use an N95, which is the best kind, but this is the one that we use in the hospital, N95, okay? After I put that on, in addition to this, I put the spray first, put this on second, and then on top of that, I put on, this patient made me my own personal mask with my name on it, and it says Best PCP. I put this on top of it, so I have 2. So this is one kind. I have another one, again, with this mask, my KN95 here, or my N95. Okay, when I'm going to the hospital, I put on the N95, and I put on a cloth mask over it, okay? So this is another Life is Beautiful mask that a lovely patient made for me. Then we have just different colors. Another Life is Beautiful mask here. All right, so either this or this. Okay, so N95 plus a cloth mask in addition to my spray, and that's what I use. Okay, you have the COVID is in the air, so you need to protect your nose, not just your mouth. I see a lot of people walking around with a mask over their mouth. It needs to go over your nose, cover your nose, okay? This is Listerine. It kills a lot of germs and bacteria, everything that's in our mouth. If you can use it straight, use it straight. Gargle before you leave the house. Gargle when you come back from the house. You know, come back out from, out from outside. You come back inside after you've interacted with, everybody else. as much as you're supposed to make sure that you're having your social distancing and wearing your mask. You could gargle also, because before COVID goes anywhere else, it goes into the nose, the mouth, it get lodges in the throat before it goes anywhere else. So you could gargle and get rid of it, God forbid, if you came into contact with someone. Another thing you could do is to use 3% hydrogen peroxide. You could use half with water, half hydrogen peroxide and half water. You can use this probably like 2 or 3 times a week, so be careful, it could make your teeth extremely sensitive, okay? Then, in addition to that, we need to, medications, but before medications, we're supposed to be getting our vitamins and minerals from the food we eat, but because we don't eat what is recommended by the pyramid chart, make sure get as much fruit juice as you can, real fruit juice as you can, okay? This is guava pineapple, one of my favorite, okay? This is ruby red grapefruit juice, and if you don't know, ruby red grapefruit juice cuts fat while you're sleeping, so this is good, and it's full of citrus, it's full of vitamin C, and vitamin C is extremely good for you. It boosts your immune system. And on top of that too, we got orange juice. Started drinking already. Orange juice is good for you. It boosts your immune system. You can't overdose on vitamin C because it's water soluble, so whatever your body doesn't need, it releases it, okay? And then water, water, water. 70% of your body is made up of water. You need to hydrate, okay? But don't overhydrate, because then you make your sodium low. So at least, 4 to 6 glasses a day, you can mix, water in addition to your orange juice or coconut water or your teas, your peppermint tea, your turmeric tea, your ginger tea, all of those, with moderation. You have to be careful, because if patients are on blood thinners and stuff like that, the turmeric and all of that can exacerbate stuff and make it worse. So before you, don't overindulge in anything, okay? Just proportionate, a little bit at a time, and speak to your own physician also in regards to the over-the-counter supplements that you're taking. There are other supplements that we recommend. Vitamin D supplement, vitamin D and calcium is very good for you. Vitamin D, when you're deficient, and a lot of people are. When you go to your doctor, you can ask your doctor for a lab test called 25-hydroxy vitamin D level, and then you can see what your vitamin D level is. It's supposed to be between 30 to 100, but to be protective against cancer, especially in patients 45 and older, it's supposed to be between 40 and 60, your vitamin D level, and a lot of us are vitamin D deficient. So vitamin D, when you're deficient, when you're older, it puts you at risk for heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia, a lot of different things, and COVID too, and just a lot of things. So make sure, okay, you get your vitamin D in. Also, like I said, we're supposed to be eating properly and getting our nutrients and minerals from our food, but because we don't do that, for women, I recommend a women's one a day. For men, I recommend men's one a day. For children, I recommend, just a children vitamin. This one is called Jungle Miles. It's from Pharmanex. I gave this to my daughter, when she was going to elementary school, when she was graduating, she got the record for perfect attendance. And then the principal had us to stand up and asked us, asked the parents to look at us and come and ask us what were we giving our daughter for her not to miss a day of school. But she took her Jungle Miles, and it's very good, excellent source of multivitamin and minerals for children, okay? Then you have Ganoderma lucidum, okay? Ganoderma lucidum is a reishi mushroom that's been in Chinese heritage for over 4,000 plus 6,000 years. This one in particular is called mycelium, and mycelium helps with memory and recall and stuff like that, but it's very good. Ganoderma is being used right now in the Asian Peninsula to help patients who are COVID positive. So Ganoderma is good. Then again, vitamin C, if you don't get it from your juices or from your fruits, you can take the vitamin C. It's 1,000. When the patients are admitted to the hospital, we give them 1,000 milligrams twice a day. And remember, I told you can't overdose on vitamin C because it's water soluble, and you will release the parts of it that you don't use, okay? Then this vitamin D, this is a prescription vitamin D, and it's 50,000 units of vitamin D3. You take that once a week, okay? So you can either take over the counter, like 5,000 units a day, or 50,000 once a week. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, okay? And it is very protective. Another thing, zinc. Zinc is excellent, and it helps to fight COVID. And when patients are COVID positive, we give them at least 220 milligrams daily of zinc in the hospital and outside of the hospital, okay? Then you have vitamin B12, which is an excellent source of, it helps to build your red blood cells. So it helps to build your red blood cells and make your something called hemoglobin and hematocrit. That helps to work with the iron in your body to make your red blood cells secure and strong and prevent you from becoming anemic. And it gives you energy too, so it gets rid of fatigue and gives you energy. This particular, if you take like 4 drops of this, it gives you 4 extra hours of energy, okay? Especially like you come home from work, 5 o'clock, and you're unable to finish up everything that you need to do. This could give you an extra boost, okay? All right, we're gonna stop there, and then we have extra vitamin C drops, okay, that we're gonna use and go from there, okay? All right, so we're gonna continue on, and I'm gonna talk about the medications we give in the hospital for patients that are sick and also the ones that are outside. So yes, everyone, after you've done all of these beautiful things, if God forbid you let your guard down and you did contract COVID, you need to, if you feel any fever, cough, sneezing, body ache, any loss of taste or smell, sometimes you don't have to have all of those things. Just, you don't feel right in your body. You feel achy, you feel tired, you start coughing, you feel, don't feel well at all. I advise you to go get a COVID test done as soon as possible. Try to quarantine yourself for at least 14 days, but don't just stay at home. Say you get a positive result back. Don't just stay at home with a positive result. You could call your primary care physician. Call your primary care physician. If you're positive, they could treat you right away. Don't wait until the COVID gets worse and gives you a pneumonia that's showing up on a chest x-ray. Sometimes the pneumonia doesn't show up on a chest x-ray, it shows up on a CAT scan. Sometimes patients, they buy something called a pulse oximeter that you could check the level of your oxygen through your finger, and you don't want it to be, you don't want it to be greater than, the oxygen saturation to be less than 92%. If it's less than 92%, then God forbid you need to go to the hospital. And even sometime if your oxygen level is greater than 92% with the pulse oximetry, there's something called an arterial blood gas, where we do an arterial stick, but that we do that in the ER at the hospital, and we could see what your real oxygenation in your entire body, in your blood is, okay? So sometimes patient can have the on-room air, their oxygenation can be greater than 92%, but inside it could be like 60%, and that's not good. You would need continuous oxygen. God forbid, sometimes you put patient on something called a non-rebreather mask. Other time you put them on high flow oxygens, and sometimes we need something called a BiPAP. And the worst case scenario is a ventilator where you get intubated, and we have to put, the tube in your mouth, go down in your lung to help your lungs to breathe, and we don't want to have to do that. So what I'm recommending, if you do test positive, do not hesitate to call your primary care physician and let them get you on something. Know what antibiotics you are allergic to, and if you're allergic to, say, penicillin, we give something called doxycycline. It's an antibiotic, 100 milligram, every 12 hours, and we give you that for 7 days or 10 days, okay? So doxycycline for the patients that are allergic to penicillin, or if you're not allergic to penicillin, we give Zithromax, that's azithromycin, 500 milligrams daily for 5 days. In addition to that, we give you steroids, okay? We give you Decadron, 4 milligrams daily for 10 days. So we give that's what we can give you outpatient, along with the zinc that I told you about, the multivitamin. If you have cough, we could give you Mucinex or Robitussin, okay? Remember to social distance. Remember to drink all your citrusy orange juice, your water. Make sure you eat properly. Make sure you gargle, okay? And for the aches and pain, you could take, Tylenol for the fever. Once upon a time, they were saying like Motrin, you couldn't take Motrin with COVID. Now that has changed. You can, take, Tylenol or the appropriate medication recommended by your physician, for you to take and go from there. But don't wait until it gets too bad and then you can't breathe, you have shorter breath. Some patients are even having, you know, pink eye. Their eye, they have conjunctivitis with this COVID, or the conjunctivitis come before the COVID results positive. Some people are having nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and they get extremely dehydrated, and it could even mess up people's kidneys. So you have to stay hydrated and stay ahead of this. Don't be afraid to go to the hospital. There's more than enough. You know, I know the hospitals are packed, but your life is very important. It's better for you to go. They could give you some medication there. They could give you some antibiotics there. They could give you IV fluids. And for some people who are not very sick, they send them for something called monoclonal antibodies. So in addition to the Decadron and the Zithromax, or Decadron and doxycycline, and I know some doctors are giving ivermectin, you know, with the steroids. In addition to that, you could get something called monoclonal antibodies, and you will feel better within, you know, 14 to 28 days. You will test again and you'll be negative. God forbid if you go to the hospital, you know, we'll do the ABG, we'll do the chest x-ray, we'll do the CAT scan, we'll do something called a D-dimer. We'll make sure there's no clots in your lungs or clots in your legs. If there's anything there, we could give you blood thinners and get you off of that. You know, get the clot burden to be decreased, and you're gonna need to be on blood thinners for at least, you know, depending on where the clot is, 3 to 6 months. And if you reclot, then it's gonna be a lifetime. So a lot of things that I'm telling you, but by the most important things that I'm saying to you is that take your precautionary measures. We spoke earlier, I told you about Moses, that if he didn't put the branch into the water would not have become sweet. When the rock was in the desert and the people had no water, if he didn't ask God what to do and God told him to strike the rock and water came gushing out, the people would have died from thirst. So if we know what to do and we're not doing it, if I'm telling you that you need to cover your nose and your mouth and you're not doing that, then you're gonna get in trouble. But if you do get in trouble, I'm explaining to you what you need to do. You need to call, get tested. If you're positive, don't wait until the disease takes over your body. Call your primary care physician and get some medication. Get some Zithromax and Decadron, or doxycycline and Decadron, ivermectin, whatever it is that they're giving. Please go and take it and get your body strong and fortified. Make sure you're eating properly and drinking properly. When you get to the hospital, if it gets that bad, we'll give you whatever oxygen you need. We'll give you, you know, Rosefin, which is another IV antibiotic, ceftriaxone, with the Zithromax. So patients who are allergic to penicillin, we give them Levaquin. Patients, we give them something called remdesivir for 5 days IV. There's so much treatment. Don't be afraid. I know a lot of people are afraid to go to the hospital, but don't be afraid to go to the hospital. You have to do what you have to do to save your life. But it starts by you doing the basic things. But God forbid, if COVID breaks through that barrier, don't be afraid to go to the hospital to get treated, because there's lots of treatment available, okay? In addition to that, the most important thing that we need to do, even before COVID came around, is to boost our immune system. So I have a lot of things here, you know, grapes, okay? Love grapes, lots of grapes, okay? You have your broccoli, okay? You have broccoli and carrot. I just have a little stock for you. You know, we have green apple, okay? Green apple here. The lots of vitamin C that I told you, citrusy fruits. So we have lots of tangerine or oranges, tangerine or oranges, fine. Lots of lemon, okay? All of these are rich in vitamin C, okay? Lots of lemon. Banana is good, just a fruit is good, all right? Your plate should look very colorful and beautiful like this. The more colorful your plate looks, the more antioxidants they are, and antioxidants boost your body and boost your immune system and protect you from getting sick from COVID, okay? So I borrowed my husband's stuff. He likes to make a lot of smoothie and juices for us because, you know, sometimes we don't always want to eat. These are blackberries, so he makes smoothies, lots of smoothies with blackberry in it. And we have blueberries here, okay? We have blueberries here, all right? Then we have strawberries, okay? So all the berries are rich with lots of antioxidants in them, okay? And then here we have beautiful pineapple. Pineapple has a lot of citrus in it also. So lots of pineapple here, okay? So we have everything that we need to make the best, you know, juice properly. You can either put it in a juice, put it in a smoothie, or eat the fruits and boost your immune system to be the best you can be and fortify yourself, because they said you know, you are what you eat. Have you ever heard that phrase? You are what you eat. So whatever you eat, that's what's going to transform, you know, into making this body well. We have something in our office called a Biophotonic Scanner that we can put your hands, the little fatty part of your hand, onto a machine, and it could tell you your it's like a nutritional lie detector. It could tell you antioxidant levels. And what I've seen is people that eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and berries, and they told me they do juicing with kale and stuff like that. Their levels are extremely high. You want your level to be like 40 to 100. But a lot of patients, you know, their levels are low. And especially patients that I see that come in with cancer, their level is like 10,000. Remember I told you need to be like 40, 50,000 to 100,000. Their levels are 10,000. It's like some of them is undetectable. And it tells you how much you've been exposed to smoke, or you've been vaping, or you're exposed to traveling a lot, or not sleeping enough, not eating enough fruits and vegetables, not eating enough supplements. And if your body mass index, if you're like overweight or obese or morbidly obese, all of those calculate into this Biophotonic Scanner, the levels that you get, and it shows you, it predicts how much free radical is in your body and shows you your risk for getting cancer or getting sick. And it's really true, because the patients that come in with the things that we see, when you look at it, the readings, and when you correlate that with their lifestyle and what they really do, it really does add up. So what I'm saying to you is, blessed to be a blessing. Faith without works is dead. We have to do what we have to do to make ourselves the best that we can be. So you have to eat right. You have to, you know, exercise the proper precautionary measures. You have to good hand washing, cover your nose and your mouth, not just your mouth alone. Social distancing. If you don't have to go to a crowded party, don't go there. Don't let anybody peer pressure you, because I realize that, you know, since COVID came, it's like even adults are getting peer pressured. Oh, nobody else is wearing a mask, so I'm not wearing a mask either. It's your life. It's okay to look silly and alive, then, you know, follow the crowd and not be here on this earth. So I'm just encouraging each and every one of you that, you know, I hope this helps somebody, bless somebody, and blessed to be a blessing. And I really and truly hope, remember, you are what you eat. Pick the right choices. Get your berries in. Bring up your antioxidant level. Boost your immune system. Take your your multivitamins. And God forbid, if you're sick, take your antibiotics and your steroids, and make sure you contact your doctor. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, thyroid problems, make sure you're taking the medication that you need to take. I know people are COVID's outside. I can't go to the gym. Put the music on in your house and dance, okay? Put on the electric slide, the cha-cha slide, whatever slide you want to put on. Put on your best music and just dance. Play 3 times or play 15 minutes and just get your cardio workout in your house, in your bedroom, on your balcony, wherever outside. But get your exercise in, because all of what you do is going to predict the outcome of your life. Just be blessed, and remember, faith without work is dead. I am telling you this. I read the first part of the Bible explaining to you. God said, for as much as you've done to the least of these, you've done it unto me. I may not be your physician, but I'm passing something on to you that I hopefully will bless you and have blessed you, and you can use it to bless somebody else. So blessed to be a blessing. Be covered under the blood of Jesus. I love you with the love of the Lord. And I'm Dr. Gordon Pusey, the Life is Beautiful MD, and Life is Beautiful Ministries. Until next time, take care, stay safe, stay blessed. Bye-bye now.
To be free, Lord, I'm available to you. My will I give.